Let's bring the August 25th meeting to order. Salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then we have an executive meeting if there's anything to discuss.
Roll call.
Mr. Cullen?
Here.
Ms. Curran?
Here.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Here.
Mr. Poliafico?
Here.
Mr. Parolo?
Mr. Parolo is excused. He's on vacation.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Stiltner?
Here.
Ms. Paglione?
Mrs. Paglione is excused.
And Mr. Ciccoletti?
Here. Mr. Solicitor.
Yes, briefly, thank you, Mr. President. There was an executive session tonight, began at 6:30, and ended just before this meeting started. All board members who were present at this meeting were present at the executive session, along with Dr. Schaefer and myself. Personnel items, informational items, security items, and collective bargaining items were discussed at the executive session. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Trullo. Do I have a motion to approve the complete agenda?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Poliafico. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Dr. Schaefer, reports and presentations.
Yes. This evening, I'm asking the board to approve the health and safety plan. It was last updated March 10th, 2022. This has to be updated every 6 months in accordance with our ESSER grants. So basically, the only changes at this point are the actual dates. It still remains the same as before. I'm very happy to announce that the district has been awarded $2.5 million for the 21st Century Grant. This is $500,000 a year for the next 5 years, and what that will cover are our after-school programs and our summer programs. So we weren't anticipating receiving that grant, so that's a nice gift to the district. The district has received an extension on the special education plan through November 30th, 2022. As I made you aware previously, the district was only made aware that we have to do the comprehensive plan and the special ed plan in the spring. I looked at last August minutes, and I saw that we adopted the last comprehensive plan just a year ago. So things are really out of sync right now because of COVID, and the state is trying to get things back on track. So that's why it's being done so quickly. And as I said, the comprehensive plan is due on March the 30th. I did speak with the representative from the Pennsylvania Department of Education last week to verify that all our ESSER reports were completed and up to date prior to my leaving, and she confirmed that we are in very good standing as far as all our reports are in reference to ESSERs. And tonight, regarding Titles 1, 2, and 4, Mr. Rosado is going to give a report on those. And in conclusion, I wanted to say that it's been an honor, and I've been humbled to serve as your superintendent this year. And I want to thank Jennifer, Nick, Kelly, the Board of Education, all the administrators, staff, and teachers for all your support. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed this year. You know, I got up this morning thinking I'd be excited, but I wasn't. It was a bittersweet time. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. Reports? Mrs. Rosado?
Yes, thank you. So we are at the point of submitting our federal programs application. Our Title I dollars will be spent on salaries and benefits for our reading specialists, 2 reading specialists, a portion for a math interventionist, $500 for family engagement, and $1,000 set aside for homelessness. Professional development, and St. Mark's gets an equitable share, and they contract with the IU to provide reading interventions to students at St. Mark who need that. Our Title II class size reduction money is being used to once again add a 5th first grade class to keep those numbers really low. And that's Miss Hours moving into that position. And for St. Mark, they are using their Title II money to contract with the Bucks County Intermediate Unit to provide professional development. Title IV is for well-rounded education. We are funding the Microsoft certification program for Bristol High School through Bucks County Community College, along with the AP Chemistry course also through Community College for the high school. Gifted and enrichment program here at Snyder Girardi will receive some funds there. And as far as for safe and healthy students, for our positive behavior interventions and support program here at Snyder Girardi, we allocated money. And to grow our Outrageous program to include our third graders this year, we also allocated money for that. For effective use of technology, we put some money aside to continue to expand our STEM makerspace. So we're excited. Kids love it. And St. Mark's Equitable Share, they are purchasing a one-year subscription to IXL, which is a site license for pre-K to 8 for ELA and math drills, in a sense. And then if I may, I did want to also say that we had the opportunity, the leadership team, to complete our school-wide plan that we have to do as because we received money here at Snyder Girardi. We began this plan in looking at our data and discussing what our needs are back in June, which included all the grade level chairs, special education, reading specialists, a good representative of our team here. And I just recently finished a class on organizational change. And you know, one of the big things that we talked about when you're trying to put some changes into place is important to have input from all of the staff. So I was pretty happy that we were able to bring that leadership team together to really put some shared decision-making into place and where we need to go. And also, hopefully, will lead to that buy-in that we know is necessary to move things forward. So what's in our school-wide plan? So we look at all our data. So we collect a lot of data here. Aside from PSSA, which we do have that available, some raw data, we also look at our FastBridge data, and we use FastBridge as a universal screener. So we give that a couple of those assessments 3 times a year, in the fall, the winter, the spring, to see how kids are growing. The great thing about FastBridge is that it kind of triangulates the data, and then it gives us an intervention plan. So, you know, we are still rebounding from COVID, from learning loss, from just that disruption, and how that's impacted our families in more than one way, but academically. And where we are is, we know our children have needs. They have specific needs. If I could give you an analogy in thinking about it, and being prescriptive is, most of you know I've been having an issue with my foot. So when you have an issue, you go to the doctor, right? He brings up your chart, he has your history there. You tell him what your ailments are, he diagnoses, and then he prescribes something. And then you go back after a little time and you say, okay, how well did that work, whatever I gave you, right? And you reassess. And if it's not working, well, you got to take another course. If it's working, keep on going, right? You're making growth. Same thing here academically. So we really need to know what our deficits are in reading and in math, so we can prescribe, intervene, and see kids grow. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to be working on making a uniform way to provide that intervention. We already meet in data teams and talk about it. And then what does it look like in terms of data collection? Because I realize that the teachers having 25 children on average, let's just say 22 to 25 in a class of little people, they're constantly engaged, their minds are constantly going. You cannot remember everything, but in order to be intentional, just like your doctor, you have to have it recorded somewhere, right? You have to have that data recorded in order to know what road to take and how to move forward. And we don't have a systematic way of doing that right now that's standard and uniform, and so that's what we're going to be working on this year, along with additional coaching to refine some of our strategies and broaden our bags of tricks to best serve our students. And, you know, we have a book study that we're doing on the next step forward in guided reading and guided math and action. You know, we have our assessments calendar, which is going to drive the assessments, the summative, informative that we give to the students, analyze those. And then finally, our positive action program, which is our new social emotional learning program. We will be implementing that Pretty much right at the get-go, teachers will receive some training next week. And the great thing about it is it's going to be done first thing in the morning. Teachers will engage the kids in a morning meeting. It's all about positive affirmations, right? So we get the kids together, positive affirmations, set them up for a great day, and then we're going to revisit it at the end of the day, do a little reflection, and leave with positive affirmations. So we need our kids to feel good about themselves and continue to grow, right? And I'm hoping that that will have a positive impact, and research says that it might, and it should, on our daily attendance rate too, because we kind of need to rebound from COVID and moving forward with that, because if kids aren't here, kids can't learn, kids can't grow. So I'm excited about the year. We're moving in the right direction, and we will continue to work until, hey, we grow our kids. Then finally, I guess the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. So Tom, thank you for everything. I know you got a little choked up, and I'm a little choked up. It's like, I guess the second time's a charm. Is that what it is, or whatever other saying? So, well, I know we're going to do the comprehensive plan together, but it's been a great year. So, always welcome, always visit, put you on the sub list. So thank you.
Forgot something.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Did we have visitors from another school to look at one of your programs back in June? Would you like to spend a minute
Sure.
on that? Is this something that you set up?
Okay, so we had, yes and yes.
Okay.
So we actually had visits from staff from two different buildings. So New Hope Solebury brought a team to look at our scholastic literacy program, and they were quite impressed. They visited an array of classrooms to get a sense of how it works in with the primary kids, the intermediate, and their principal had come, and what he commented on was the culture of the building and the interactions of the children with staff, children with one another, which is directly a result of our positive behavior interventions and support program, which is now our 8th year of implementation that I'm super proud of. It's become common language, it's our culture, it's us, and that's kind of what I want for our academics too, right? So that was one great visit, and then we also had the opportunity over the summer to meet with staff from Upper Moreland, and they're attempting or going to pilot or begin and implementing their positive behavior interventions and support programs. So we were able to share all of the steps that we went through, kind of give them some heads up, skip doing this, avoid this, this is great. And I'm proud. I'm proud that we could be a model for that. And, you know, we're just, I feel like we're really moving in the right direction to serve our children, serve the community, and meet the needs of our children, the various needs of our children. And there are various right now.
And if I can say, Upper Moreland is going to use our school as the model
Yeah, so it was.
set up, which is really nice.
So, and we're here for any additional, questions or visits. I did invite them back to actually see it in practice with children in the building and staff in the building, and so.
It's okay to brag. We're all happy about that. So,
Thank you, thank you.
But you did forget that, right?
Well,
I have a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. You want to go first?
You were saying the roadmap that you're putting together as they're going through their process with education and reading and writing.
Right.
When you get to a certain point and you realize there's certain children that are behind, this program that you have, will it also suggest how we can get them ahead? I only ask because myself, I didn't learn how to read until 5th grade, but it took that long for them to figure out what was going on. I was dyslexic, nobody knew it.
Right. So, Tony, to answer that question, it's twofold, right? So, under the direction of Dr. Schaefer, Dr. Minetti, now Dr. Schaefer again, but primarily Dr. Schaefer because, for the time I've been here, it's been him. We decided that in order to grow children and move our district forward in terms of achievement, we needed to put a lot of resources into the early grades, right? Kindergarten, first, second, to build a strong foundation so you have fewer children who need that additional help, okay? So we purchased a research-based phonics program called Foundations, which is being implemented in K1 and 2, and also 3 because of COVID.
That's the critical point right there.
Exactly, right? If you don't know how to read by 3rd grade, your chances of reading at grade level really decrease dramatically,
I
right?
know.
So then, in addition to that, what I just mentioned, we have allocated our monies to create that 5th first grade classroom. So in every other grade, we have 4 classes at each grade level. Why did we do that in 1st grade? Well, we did it in 1st grade because there are children at the end of kindergarten who we know are not ready yet, right? They're not successful. So retention, there's no research that said retention is a positive thing,
Right.
okay? And that anyway. So we allocate money to that. So what does it do? Well, we have one class that we keep with 10, 12 students in it. 12 students. And the teacher and any other aides or anything we can give, we will. That teacher has 12 children to devote the days to for small group instruction and individual instruction, right? So you grow kids by giving them what they need. So what are their deficits? So you have to assess, then you diagnose, and then you say, okay, well, this is what they need, right? And so when you're behind, that intensity and frequency, when you have fewer kids, you can do that. If you have 25 in there, now what happened? Now your time has to be divided
I think
even
this
more,
is a
right?
beautiful program. I mean,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
listening
Right.
intensely. I think it's
So,
awesome.
so that's what we've done to strengthen our foundation. And also being regular and collecting our data and looking at it and discussing it and talking about children's needs is necessary, right? Because it's too late. Like, you can't wait till the end of the week to assess and then say, oh, they didn't get it, now what do I do, right? It has to be ongoing, which is formative assessment.
This is beautiful.
So it's knowing what the kids need, giving them what they need, and guess what? If it didn't work, then we're going to try something else. Using the reading and math specialists to push into classes, to do coaching and sit next to teachers, kind of look what they're doing and look at the interventions that they're implementing and saying, maybe you could try it like this. Last year, we did a book study on structured literacy intervention. So each chapter focused on a deficit area that many children have. So with that knowledge, and now our reading specialist sitting next to and saying, you're trying this, let's take that book back out. How did it work? Was it effective? If it wasn't, what else do we need to do? So those conversations ongoing, like regular, ongoing conversations.
But what you're doing and implementing is perfect because you're doing it right at the right time. It's those formative years right there in school is where you can pick this up and give the special attention to those kids that need it. Because the ones that already have it, they're going to fine, they're going to go to path. We're not leaving these behind. I saw it. I was part of that. Where I was in the Catholic school system, they couldn't help me.
Right.
And it took them too long. So I think
Right.
this is so awesome
Well-
that we're going to be there for the kids right from the get-go.
And the one thing, since you just brought up, so we don't, because we have to focus attention on children who have grade deficits or any deficits, we don't leave behind any of our children who are at grade
Well,
level
no,
or
and I didn't mean
above
to
grade
insinuate
level
that at all,
too.
no.
So just let me mention that the way we do our instruction, there's always time for small group instruction, whether that be for kids who are advanced, who need a challenge and can do collaborative group work with other children who fit on their level.
Yep.
So we're challenging them at the same time. And then also I mentioned that part of our money is always allocated to our gifted enrichment program that Ms. Helkowski runs. And so we also, are serving not just children who are identified as gifted with a GIP, but also children who do well, who are just, we call them enrichment, right? They don't have that paper, but they do well.
Right.
So they also have those same opportunities. Because we can't forget about anybody.
No.
Right?
Nope.
Right.
I'm going to be following you all year on this.
Well, come in. You can come in. Steve, did you have a
One
question?
other question.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, Steve.
Ed,
You mentioned about the absentee, like in last year, and then we won't know. So was there a lot of kids that weren't coming back to school?
Oh, so no, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of things. So the state has readjusted their, the rate that we're kind of, should meet for a school district, right? So by 2030, I think the rate, attendance rate, daily attendance rate should be 94% because of COVID, okay? But what happened was, when I say daily attendance, we asked children who were sick to stay home as a district, right? If you have
Okay.
these symptoms, we want you to stay home, you're gonna quarantine, you're gonna be out for this amount of time. We didn't do the hybrid model where we were teaching live, kids at home and then in front of us, because that really wasn't an effective model, right? We did that as a Band-Aid. So if the children were home, yes, we could provide them with some papers and worksheets to try to keep them engaged, but that doesn't replace the importance of the teacher, right? So when I say that attendance rate, I mean because of illness or exposure to COVID, and we've asked them, and the parents were great. Like, they called us to tell us, hey, they were exposed. So I can't fault them.
Right.
That's what we asked them to do to keep everyone else safe. But you also, you need that time with the teacher, that FaceTime with the teacher.
Critical, yes.
Right? So that's what I meant by
Are we following
attendance.
that same protocol?
In terms of
Where
what?
they're exposed, they're stay home so many days?
Only if they have it,
Only if they have it.
only if they have it.
Yeah, in our health and safety plan that we're going to approve tonight.
Okay.
The rules, it's in there. We didn't have an opportunity to read it, but we'll,
I'll have to read it tonight. Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
I just wanted to touch on something we did last year. I know, Kelly, you were working with the playground. How did
Okay.
that work out?
So, like everything else, when you want something, you're gonna wait for it, right? So, you know, there's a lead time, but we did once again meet with the representative. You can see there were some changes to the back. So the traffic pattern is gonna change,
Right.
and we're gonna have additional, like, blacktop space right now for the children to play on, which will be safe because it'll be barricaded off
Is it
by our
barricaded,
barriers.
or are there going to be fencing?
Well, right now,
Yeah,
there's the
fencing.
barriers. I'm not sure when the fence will be put in. Plus, there's not a lot of traffic that we let through there
Right.
during the day anyway. Second is, I'm still waiting for a couple of the quotes on the new structure, and then also putting down that rubber mulch, not rubber mulch, that rubber surface
Surface, right.
under the existing one. So it is my goal by sometime throughout the school year that when that new playground comes in, that we have it installed where that little circle used to be in the back, and it gives us more space for, you figure our recesses have 100 to 125 kids out there that are looking for something to do, and if you don't give them something to do, they find things to do, and sometimes it's not the right stuff to do. So we want to keep them engaged, right? So we are still in that process, but there's a lead time with manufacturing, you know how it is right now. So
Okay, thank you.
just write the check, just sign the check.
thank you, Mrs. Rosado.
Kelly, I just have a question for you.
Yes.
Quickly. Everything that you said was exactly right as far as getting kids, looking at, and coming into this year, you've got more kids that need that type of analysis and that type of diagnosis. So, you know, it's good to hear. And as far as collecting data, have you reached out to the IU about getting maybe can help you out with some? Because we have data analysts up there. A lot of them
So-
work with the PIMS, but my point is
Right.
they might be able to license you some software to help the teachers.
Well, so I'm not opposed to that, however, I will now brag a little bit, but we have we have competent staff that I'm proud of, including our Office of Special Education, where we have a couple psychologists, and Dr. Smith, who, when you're a psychologist, is data, right?
Yeah.
And they know, and so they led the grade level teams in analyzing our
Okay,
data.
good,
So
good,
we
yeah.
tapped into the
Right,
resources
so
we
we've
have
gotten
here,
focused on.
and they could explain it in a much,
Well, I was just concerned when you were saying about it, it's like the teachers got enough to do than saying, okay, now this kid, but there's software that can help
Right.
if you can get some metrics or performance indicators to enter.
Right.
And then
So-
pass that along.
the Fast Bridge that I mentioned that we're
Yeah.
using as a universal screener, so the students are assessed, have two different tests that they are administered, and it kind of takes that data, and I want to say triangulates it, and then
Yeah.
gives us a plan, right? It tells us what their
Okay, great.
deficits are, and then that we know how to intervene. It actually gives an intervention plan too.
Great.
So-
The only other thing is, when's the Fab Lab coming?
The Fab Lab is coming sooner than later. I feel like it's this fall.
Okay.
We jumped on that again.
Yeah, make sure you remind me, I want to come
Yeah,
up there.
yeah, that's excellent.
Okay, Mr. Anastasio.
Yes, and I'm glad Mrs. Rosado brought this up. So the high school will be also participating in the Fast Bridge training and assessment this year. The 7th and 8th grade staff will be trained when we have our in-services So we will be collecting various data points from fall, winter, and the spring for our junior high. And we will also be participating in the Positive Action Social Emotional Learning Program as a school together for grades 7 through 12 every Monday morning with a different lesson. What we had to do there is we had to make a little adjustment to our schedule, take a couple minutes away here and there, and we extended our homerooms so everybody could, at the same time, meet the needs for the positive action learning. I want to talk a little bit about our dual enrollment programs, which has been pretty popular and hot lately. Our dual enrollment is a relationship with Bucks County Community College that offers our students college credits and different kind of trainings, different kinds of certificates. So for the fall, our guidance counselor, Debbie and I, we kind of sectioned it off by grade levels now. So everything is organized and in concrete for the upcoming year. So our juniors will be taking psychology in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 7:45, and we'll be earning 3 college credits. Our seniors, this is a new class that we have added, will be taking English Comp 110 from 7 to 7:45 through a professor from Bucks County Community College, which might be one of our teachers in the district. We've also added this year, during second period, our Fire Science Academy. This will be our first year of this program, and I believe, Dr. Schaefer, we might be the first in the state of Pennsylvania
We're the first in the Commonwealth.
to pilot this program.
Yes.
We currently have 22 students that are signed up. Through the first week, we will be enrolling them into the community college and getting them squared away. Mr. McGinn and the Bucks County Community College will also offer a teacher to team teach with Ron McGinn also. We also have our U.S. History 1, which will be 3 more credits for our students, and Chem 1, which will be 4 credits for the entire year. So just for the fall semester, we are offering 16 total college credits for free to our students, and I think that's pretty amazing if you ask me. We also are offering our Microsoft and Excel class, but we made a change. So instead of last year, our students were being bused Tuesdays and Thursdays to the community college, and we found out that we're losing a couple students here and there because of downtime, waiting for buses or whatever. So we communicated with Jim Sell from the community college and Owen. Now we have this class back at the high school. So it's going to be after school, Tuesdays and Thursdays for this upcoming year. We've also added a new class from Bucks County Community College, another certificate class in cybersecurity. The cybersecurity class will be Mondays and Wednesdays, and that will be through the Century 21 grant, and will also be led by the Century 21 teachers within our school. So we're going to have 2 certification programs after school, Monday through Thursday, that are new to our school, which is, I think, pretty amazing. For the spring, our juniors will be taking sociology in the morning, and this is another new class we added for the seniors, and it's a class that every college or university requires students to take, which is public speaking. We're also going to require our students to come here and public speak here and at different events during the school year. And then we also will offer our history too, and also our chemistry. So the dual enrollment program at Bristol and the relationship with Bucks is we're rolling pretty well. We're looking to increase some numbers in our certification classes, which are new this year, but we will have everything ironed out by the first week of school. I also wanted to make clear that, you know, there's a big emphasis on college and community college, but we have students that college it's not for them. So we are switching gears and adding to our repertoire different certification programs and experiences. So,
Career readiness.
yes, Mr. Zotto, career readiness, correct. So we are adding, we have a grant from Bucks Community College. It's an industrial maintenance and training program. So what it offers is two programs, mechanical and fabrication, and the second one is electric and mechanical training. This will be offered to our seniors in the summer. It's a 7-week program. It's $6,500 cost per student, and it's free to our students. It's a 94% job placement, and the average is $17 to $21 average for those specific jobs. So those students will be once a week. They'll be in industries, they'll be in businesses, they'll be in companies. They'll have field trips once a week, and they'll have class time 4 times a week at Bucks. With that said, about Bucks Community College, in November, our juniors and seniors will be attending the Future Ready Conference, and that will happen at the Bucks campus in the new building. That will be for everything Bucks has to offer, every certification, every class. So our students will be attending the conference. They'll be in the classroom for like 7 to 8 minutes. They'll get a little taste of what classes, what they like, and then they'll switch. They'll be going on all day. We are teaming up with Truman High School. They'll be there at the same time, so we're excited about that. Next, in April, we also will be attending the Health Science Conference through Bucks Community College, and that has to deal with more specifically, and I have the flyer right here, anything in nursing, anything in the medical field, anything in radiology. But that's going to be expanded from 10th through 12th grade. So anybody that's interested in that will be attending that conference for that day. We also have another grant through Bucks Community College for our middle school. So I want to get something in the middle school, somewhere, somehow. We're going to have a middle school entrepreneurship. It's going to be every Thursday. It's going to be 25 students that will be picked by 7th and 8th grade teachers. And basically, it's going to be kind of like an industrial Shark Tank. And the teacher from Bucks, there's going to be actually 2 teachers that will be teaching the class every Thursday, 8th period. It's a semester class, which means it's 2 quarters, and then the next 2 quarters, we'll have 25 more kids. And we're going to see what we could do to expand on that eventually. So I'm really excited about that. Sorry I'm taking so long.
Keep
These
going,
are all
Bob.
good things. Keep
Um,
going.
It's a good plan.
Yes, so I also want to say, last year, I thought, once Miss Renard kind of took over our food pantry and we start getting the word out pretty well, I thought our food pantry start collecting and growing and becoming better, and our students use it. They use the food pantry. So what I'm asking for is anybody that wants to donate to our food pantry, they could email me, call me, they could email Miss Renard, and Miss Renard, and you can also email Miss Renard to find out, when could we have a drop-off and what other kind of items we need. Second, I want to say that we've added a new art room. The new art room is absolutely beautiful. We have a new kiln in there. We added a pottery class, which will be new for our students. There's all new countertops. There's new technology. It's freshly painted. There's some new furniture. It is unbelievable. It's an awesome space. So I invite the board or anybody else that wants to come check it out, please do. I also want to say, please support our football, field hockey, and cheerleaders. We do now have a sports website. It is bristolhighwarriors.com. All the schedules are posted on there. Anything that you want to know about, anything that's happening for our sports programs will be on there. And also our middle school will also be on there. So it's a pretty good resource for sports. I want to thank the following people. I want to thank our guidance counselor, Debbie Connor, for not only completing our schedule, but getting everything in that she had to get in a very limited time. It's a ton of work, but she did it with the help of Ms. Senna and myself, but she was the main culprit. I want to thank Paul Hetherington and Dennis for putting in our key fobs. We have key fobs for the front and back doors now, which I'm very fired up and psyched about. I also want to thank Paul for setting up the trainings for our Focus, our new program that our new information system that will contain all the information we need for our kids and for our district. I want to thank Beth and Laura, my secretaries, and our custodial staff. I don't know if you guys have ever been there in the summer and it's hot and we're not air conditioned yet, but it gets real hot when they're mopping the floors and waxing the floors, and it looks beautiful. So I want to thank them, and I appreciate everything they do. And that's it for me.
If I could just add to Nick's report.
Yes.
Our firefighting class, when they come out, it's for juniors and seniors, when they come out at the end of that class, they'll be state certified firefighters. And just as an example, right now Philadelphia, as of today, is looking for 700 firefighters.
Wow.
So there's a market out there, not just in the cities, the suburbs as well, a lot are going paid.
Tom, what was the shortage you say, though, in the state of Pennsylvania? What was
We
that
have
number?
gone from 330,000 volunteer firefighters to about 30,000 since the 1970s, okay? Now, the nice thing is those 22 students in that class, one of the things that Nick is going to be doing the first week is they're going to be joining one of the 4 fire companies here in the borough. So that's going to be adding to our ranks here in town, which is real nice right now, and something that's really needed in the borough.
And I don't want to forget, I want to thank you for helping me through my beginning stages of my principalship, and I really appreciate everything. I really do.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
And one last thing we didn't report on is Joe Moores, Chief Joe Moores, we are going to look to start to form some sort of PALS program after school with our police department as well. There's a lot of things going on here, really good things.
Hey, Dave, just one quick question. Nick, I know
Yes.
last year we had free meals for the high school students, correct? Is that going to be for this school year as well?
No.
So they'll have to apply?
Yes.
Okay.
They can apply online on the portal.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I think it would be a good time also to mention for our families with our new Focus information system, you can go to our website and it's very easy for parents to sign up for the parent portal, and then they can see their children's schedules in there and their teachers, and that's what we're kind of pushing. And I know the other day Paul said there probably were over 500 logins, so that's the direction that we want to go. So if you need your child's ID number because they've forgotten it over the summer, just call either office and the secretaries can provide that information. But that is definitely what we want to, we want parents to be engaged and see how well the kids are doing. So sign up for your parent portal.
That will provide their grades, when their homework and everything?
I don't know about homework, but it does let them see how they're doing on their grades, assessments, attendance,
And the disciplinary stuff.
disciplinary. We're all still learning that,
Yeah.
the new system, but there are directions that Paul placed on the website.
Good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nastasi and Mrs. Rosado. Okay, so let's go on to public participation. Anyone from the public would like to make any comments? No comments? Okay. All right, let's go on to routine monthly business.
Well, you have to bear with me here.
Okay,
It's a lot. Let me get a drink of water.
go ahead.
Okay, we're going to start with item 6. Mr. President, make a motion to approve the minutes of June 9th and June 23rd, 2022 board meetings. A motion to approve the list of bills for July and August of 2022, and approve the treasurer's report for June and July of 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item 7, new business.
Okay, Mr. President, I am motion that we approve the updates to the attached health and safety plan.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Item B.
Mr. President, I motion that we approve the attached 21st Century Community Learning Center Cohort 11 grant between the Bucks County IU and the Bristol Borough School District effective October 1, 2022 to September 30th, 2027.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions?
So, Tom, that was the 2.5 million
That's the 2.5 million, yes,
for the next 5 years?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item C.
President, I motion that we approve the attached College Board Consortium Agreement between the Bucks County IU and the Bristol Borough School District effective August 16, 2022 to June 30th, 2023.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Personnel.
President, I motion to approve to hire Rachel Miller as a permanent substitute for math support, salary and benefits as per the master agreement effective for the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item B.
I motion to approve to hire Michelle Patlock as a permanent substitute for sixth grade learning support, salary and benefits as per master agreement effective the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item C.
I motion to approve that we hire Cassidy Rossi as a K-3 learning support / emotional support, salary and benefits as per the master agreement, effective the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item D.
Mr. President, I motion to approve to hire Joanne Seabury Sutherland as a half-time art teacher, salary first step, master's plus 30 support, no benefits as per master agreement, effective the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item E.
Mr. President, I motion to accept the resignation of Kathleen McCluskey, cafeteria employee, effective immediately.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries.
Item F, Mr. President, I motion to approve the resignation of Dawn Persapongo, cafeteria employee, effective immediately.
Questions? All those in favor? Oh, second, I'm sorry, second. Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item G.
Mr. President, I motion to approve the resignation of Betty Soto, cafeteria employee, effective immediately.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item H.
I motion to approve to hire the following cafeteria employees: $10.25 per hour non-certified, $15 certified, no benefits as per the negotiated contract, effective the 2022-2023 school year. Cynthia Miller and Joanne Polk.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item I.
Mr. President, I motion to approve the resignation of Myra Ayala, District Assistant, effective immediately.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item J.
Mr. Mr. President, I motion to approve the resignation of Anthony Neves, District Assistant, effective immediately.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item K.
I motion to approve the hiring the following as district assistants, PCAs or aides, $14.70 per hour, no benefits, as per the negotiated agreement, effective the 2022-2023 school year. Caleb McCausland, James Petrino, Michelle Rivera, Peggy Salamondo, and Rose Vierling.
Questions?
Second.
Well, I need a second. Sorry.
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? I abstain. Item I.
Motion approved to hire Harley Blosser as a bus driver, $21.52 per hour, no benefits as per negotiated contract, effective for the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item M.
Item M, Mr. President, I motion to approve the hire of the following district daily substitutes at $125 per day, no benefits as per the master agreement, effective the 2022-2023 school year. John Chichanki, Lee Frudenberger Vitale, Taylor Gerhardt, and Wayne Robotin.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do they start first day of school, all four of them?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item number 9, thank you, Mr. D'Angelo. Information and discussion, excuse me. Bucks County Intermediate Unit? Are you from the Intermediate Unit?
No, that's,
If I may, that's
That's our
Cassidy
new-
Rossi. We just hired her for the position, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
I saw her name on the sheet there, it was my teller stand.
I'm sorry, I apologize. The IU representatives changed during the summer, and I was, we're wondering, okay, you're from the IU, but congratulations, welcome
Yeah,
aboard.
really, welcome.
See what you have to look forward to?
Okay, the next board meeting will be September 15th, 2022. Let me go around the horn here for comments. Mr. Smith?
I'd just like to wish Dr. Schaefer good luck on his retirement. It was a pleasure working with you for the past year. Thank you. And great job to Kelly and Nick. A lot of information, I'm looking forward to the school year, really am.
Thank you.
Is that it, Mr. Smith?
I'm sorry, that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Curran?
So I also want to thank Dr. Schaefer for all of your help. I would email and call and stop by. So I really appreciate all the time and the thorough answers that you would give me. So enjoy your second retirement. And Kelly and Nick, the details and all the programming is just amazing. I specifically just want to point out that it really makes me happy to hear that we have some trade options coming in for our non-college bound students, because that really can make an impact starting in the trades at 18 compared to 25 or 30. It's a huge dollar difference that can impact their lives. I also want to bring up an opportunity, and I'm going to actually email it to Nick. I received it actually yesterday, but I saw it today. Bob Harvey, our Bucks County Commissioner, is actually looking for a high school student to be a board member for the Bucks County Drug and Alcohol Commission. They do meet virtually, so this would be an opportunity that they could list for their college resume or even just their personal resumes. Serving on a board at, say, 16 or 18 years, 17 years old would look great. So I'll pass that information along to you. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curran. Mr. Cullen?
Yes, I'd also like to jump on to thank Mrs. Rosado and Mr. Stasi for all their hard work. I think the school looks great. I just look outside, inside, it looks, really sharp. I'm just curious about the pattern back there with the how that was going. I seen all the arrows back there today. So I guess that's all going to work out well. I guess we had somebody especially do that. But also, I'd really like to thank Tom for, like, I think, Tom, I'm going to say you started in 1990 here?
1990.
Was it 90?
90.
Okay. I do remember that. But I remember my one daughter was in 6th grade, and Tom said something that she still remembers to this day, because Tom was coming in and she was leaving, Ward Snyder moving into 7th grade, and Tom said, like 2 ships passing, he was just getting there and they were moving up to the high school and stuff, and, now she's 44 years old. She still remembers that comment that Mr. Schaefer made, so he made an impact on her in the 6th grade. And I'm just, I'm happy that he's retiring again, but I'm just kind of sad that he's leaving. Truly going to miss Mr. Schaefer, Dr. Schaefer, I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom.
Mr. Polyafco?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Nick and Kelly, great job. Jen, everybody, wish everybody a great school year this year. And Mr. Schaefer, again, I got to say goodbye and all that stuff. You won't be here for the next meeting.
No.
So I wish you the best. And,
You won't be here tomorrow, Jeff. You won't be here tomorrow.
probably 2 minutes. Right?
His car's running out there now.
Have you seen his office?
Is that your scooter right by the door? That's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Polyafco. Mr. Stiltner?
Dr. Schaefer, good luck. Thank you. Your second retirement. Hopefully we see you around again. Nick, Kelly, great job. I love that we're building a culture at the schools and moving forward. I'm looking forward to a great school year coming up.
Tom?
I have one other person I have to thank, or I'd be remiss here, and that's the person that keeps this district running hourly by hourly, and that's Paul Hetherington.
Oh, my goodness.
And all that Paul does, believe me. Again, it's been a pleasure, and thank you, and it's been an honor, believe me. Thank you.
Mr. Trullo?
Normally I wouldn't say anything, but I've been in this business for a long time, and I've worked with a lot of school administrators, and I have to say I've really, really enjoyed working with Dr. Schaefer. He's been an asset, not only to the district, but to helping my office and my team of people who work with you, and I'll miss you. I hope we stay in touch. You're not only a terrific administrator, you're even a better person. And for the other administrators to do a great job, I hope you see very little of me or my office staff this year, so, but thank you.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Kelly and Nick, great plans, man, really. I mean, this is probably one of the most important times of our district, coming out of the pandemic. And the things you guys have both outlined tonight are really, really great things. And so hopefully we can get the parents to buy in. That's the last piece of the puzzle. And we've got so many things that are being offered for the kids. And it was like you guys working hard and getting them. So just the array of things that you announced, that there shouldn't be a kid in Bristol Borough that doesn't have an opportunity to at least explore something that they like. And like you said, if it doesn't work, we'll find something else. And that's really critical now. So I think it was really, really encouraging to hear a plan that you guys have laid out. And, working as hard as you did to set it up, I know you'll see it through. I do want to say that the Bucks IU actually had our opening day on Monday. 1,500 people attended up at William Tennant, and hopefully our opening day is next Thursday or Wednesday.
For teachers?
Oh yeah,
The 31st for teachers.
right, yes. And hopefully I'll stop by, and I hope to see the same enthusiasm that I saw at the IU, because teachers now seem to have gotten everything out, and now they're back, and they really want to succeed. They've been taking a beating, and I think they're taking it personal, so that's a good thing. And the only other thing is there's a football game tomorrow night, right?
6 o'clock.
Bristol High, 6 o'clock?
Home.
All right, everybody out there, come support the Warriors.
Mr. D'Angelo, thank you. Okay, so I have a few things here. As Mr. Nastasi mentioned, we had completed the art room, updated it. purchased some new equipment for the students, and we also hired a part-time art teacher for down here to have more art classes. At the next meeting, we will be hiring a part-time music instructor who will be teaching instrumental music down here, okay? He has a PhD, and he led the band at Princeton, so his resume speaks for itself. Item number 3, we're going to be updating our security cameras, and I'm not at liberty to tell you how many we're purchasing or where they're going to be. But there will be a police officer at the high school, full-time. Once again, we're not naming hours and where the location, where they're going to be stationed. And there'll be a part-time officer at the high school and a full-time police officer here every day that the students are here, okay? So that's all for security. They conducted drills over the summer and shooter drills, and they went around and checked both buildings. And we have a report. I spoke to Chief Morris today. He made some recommendations, which we will be going through and hearing. As Dr. Schaefer said, his baby, the Fire Academy, is getting off. Okay, so that was something good. At the beginning of tonight's meeting, you heard 40 minutes, I looked at my watch, of all the good things that are happening in Bristol Borough. Mrs. Rosado, Mr. Nastasi, and Dr. Schaefer told you all of what's happening. Millions of dollars. I lost track. There was $2.5 million with our ESSERS grant. I'm going to estimate over $6 million to be spent in this school district over the next couple of years, and it was all explained by our administrators how it's going to be done. Okay, so there's a lot of good things to look forward to. Mr. Parolo is down in Disney World and asked me to give an update on the high school generator. We were donated a generator for the high school, which will act as a shelter in the case that the town loses power. The generator has the capabilities to run that whole building. We're contacting contractors, but it's a very big job, and a lot of them are turning it down because they don't have the manpower at this time, but we're diligently working with that. We are working with consultants to have this time next year the entire high school have air conditioning. We're looking at ways to doing that. We'll be meeting over the next couple of months to assure that happens. The money is in the budget for that. We are also looking into the library, was mentioned at the end of last year, as far as making it a community room so the students could go to after school. So that project we'll start looking at again in the fall. And it's tough. But, Dr. Schaefer, thank you. Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.